Hey everyone, it's Kellen Brower from RacerX, back again with another race examination video where we're going to talk about a couple things from the finale at Salt Lake City to cap off this 2022 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship. First off, Justin Bogle gets out front early on. He's going to be tailed here a little bit by Cooper Webb and Jason Anderson, but Anderson, man, he has been on fire to close out this season, and it wasn't too long before he was around Webb for second, and then putting the pressure on Bogle for the race lead on the very next lap, which is going to go around Bogle to take the lead in the whoops right here. His whoop speed has been phenomenal. Really, anything that Anderson's been doing in the last month has been pretty spectacular, and he pretty much took off from here. But of course, the huge talking point that has everybody talking this week is Malcolm Stewart versus Justin Barcia. First off, about like halfway through the main event, Malcolm Stewart's going to catch Barcia for 30. He's going to go down the inside after the Supercross triple right here and make a pretty nice pass, honestly, like to get that rut that clean and still get the rhythm section smooth as well. Nice pass there. But then Barcia comes back in the next corner, or a few corners after that, tees up Stewart for the position and continues on. Barcia would receive a 10-point penalty for that and a fine as well, dropping him from when he was trying to battle for third in the championship all the way back to fifth in the championship. But a couple of things here, aside from, of course, Malcolm Stewart kind of getting hit and exploding like playing the Sonic the Hedgehog right here, we have to talk about this Justin Barcia pass attempt because, you know, Adam Cianciarulo on the broadcast, he kind of brought up the point of kind of, you know, going backwards on the track to make this pass. Like anybody could do that. And if you draw this halfway point line in the corner, a lot of the times that these passes happen, you see these guys go like basically beyond backwards coming into the corner, and you can see Barcia like he's bracing for the impact. He knows he's going to make that kind of contact, but then you see Malcolm Stewart's leg get kind of crushed in there as well. And I think all of those things factored in together is why, you know, people look at this pass as such a bad situation because, you know, the possibility of injury, the angle, certain things like that, doesn't matter the timing of the race or not. But of course, Stewart tried to catch him late, did slide out right there and could not get to Barcia. But, you know, that's kind of the thing that people get frustrated about with Barcia is that he makes these pass attempts that, you know, it pretty much basically leads you to either being on the ground or not. Stewart does end up on the ground, but Barcia does get the penalty, and Stewart is able to retain third place in the championship. Anderson, though, 7th win on the season, ended up just 9 points back of Tomac at the end of it. Crazy year in the 450 class.
I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 500,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Download the OnX Off-Road app today.
Now moving on to the 250 class, and things started off really rough early on in the day. Jett Lawrence goes down hard in the first qualifying session, would not come back out to compete in the second qualifying session, and this was pretty much all his foot falling off the right side of the bike before he took off right here. So we're going to slow this down and break it down just a little bit here, but this crash, man, it could have been so much worse. So right here you're going to see right foot right there pops off the bike, and instead of, you know, like a normal seat bounce, he's going to kind of rodeo off the bike. So if we pause it right here, I mean, this right here has the makings of an awful crash. Like, it could have gone so much worse than it did. So kudos to him to pull his hand back on the bars. He's kind of rodeoing the bike, trying to grab it. And then again, right there, I mean, goodness gracious, like a little bit shorter, and he's just going straight over the bars. The bike soaks it up well. He soaks it up well. And I mean, just honestly great that he only tweaked his ankle in that, because it could have been so much worse. Doesn't end up racing on the night. When the gate drops for the East-West Showdown, the big storyline, Christian Craig trying to wrap up the title, just needs to finish 14th in the main event, while Hunter Lawrence has to go try to win the race. But Craig early on, you know, he was right on Lawrence. He was giving him some pressure, trying to decide maybe should I make this pass. Eventually, Nate Thrasher went around Craig and then put the pressure on Lawrence for the race lead. Best Nate Thrasher's looked all season long, and was able to make the pass on the lead to get around Hunter Lawrence and continue on. Things got a little bit dicey for Craig after the whoops right here. He's just following Lawrence through and just, you know, going to try to pick up a podium, but falls down right here. And this, again, is just probably a little bit too much of an angle coming into the corner, leaned over. Front end just kind of kicks out and goes. But this is pretty much the only blip that Craig had for the rest of the night. He picked it up from here, said he was a little bit freaked out, had a couple guys go by him. And from this point on, he actually did pass Austin Faulkner at one point, but then pretty much just let everybody go by after that. So Thrasher was able to hold on and beat Lawrence for the main event victory. So kudos to Nate Thrasher. Man, showed up when they really needed him to, right there at the end of the championship. And then Craig, the only time he probably doubled through whoops all season long, going to come through, clinch the championship with an 8th place finish. And boy, oh boy, what a long time coming it is for him, his family, of course, Paige right there, and Jagger, his son. They are both excited and elated for their dad. And just a really cool story, because Craig has been through the ringer, at one point even retired and came back from the sport. So, of course, he's given his buddy Thrasher there a lot of props for winning the main event, but the emotions pouring out of him here is just so cool to see. Motocross, such a family sport, and, the trials and tribulations that he and his family have gone through to get to that point. It's just awesome to see. So congrats to Craig on the title, Thrasher on the win, and that is us done for the 2022 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship.